Welcome back. So we're a quarter of the way through No Spend February. So far I've made it. I want to share with you a few things I'm doing to make my life a little easier. The first is that I got a library book. This one is the Curated Closet. I'm not sure I really recommend this specific book, but there are lots of wardrobe building books. Pick something that appeals to you. Things I don't love about this book. Well, the overall thing I don't love about it, it's written by a skinny blonde 32-year-old. And if you look at the pictures, everyone is skinny and 22. And it kind of, as you're reading, feels like she's asking you to ask yourself questions that maybe you've never asked yourself. I've kind of been dressing myself for 49 years, so I've kind of had to go through some of this. So, but it does have some interesting questions. And the first thing she has you do is, it's sort of like an inventory, but you take a picture of everything you wear for 2 weeks. And I feel like that type of assignment as your first thing you're doing, I feel really stalled. You get a new book, you're kind of excited, you want to jump in and get started. And if the first 2 weeks are just taking pictures of yourself before you even then read the rest of the book, that wouldn't really be my deal. So I need to skip that. Maybe I'll go back to it. Yeah, maybe I will. And then you kind of do a closet purge, which isn't really something I need to do right now. I'm actually realizing that I've kind of over-purged at times. And at this point, I have pieces in my closet that I don't absolutely love, that I would like to replace over time. But a lot of them have day-to-day utility, and I really can't get rid of my jacket just because I can't get rid of my winter jacket just because I don't love that winter jacket. I don't have another winter jacket. So it's kind of where I am with purging. Overall, the exercises she encourages you to do in this book are not bad. You can get it from the library. It could be a fun thing to look through. I don't think I would recommend buying it. I think it's $20. I don't think I'd recommend it for that. But I do think it's worth going through the steps of some kind of system to determine what kind of clothing you really want to have in your closet. Because I think it's been too easy for me over the past few years to just pick up what the clothing industry is throwing at you. And some of those pieces will be pieces you really love and will stay with you for more than 6 months. Some of them will not. And I just have to think about how much I'm willing to be part of the disposable clothing culture, which is not something I necessarily need to do. And you can actually look very stylish in pieces that are stylish but not necessarily trendy, which is more my goal. So this book does have some really good, but I think you can find it a lot of different places. It does have a lot of good steps to kind of go through and think about what you really want to be adding to your wardrobe. So my next thing that I'm doing is a little dangerous, but it's worked so far. I've been using Pinterest to try to improve my self-control. We all know that's not what it's for. I'll leave my own Pinterest ID below if anyone wants to be Pinterest buddies. I'd love to see what you're pinning. Pinterest just launched a cool new feature. Maybe it was 3 years ago and I just noticed it. But within your boards, you can have sections now. So in my style board, I have one that is just things that I've seen on Stitch Fix, things I've seen from Transcend. I think I already had a board called Accessories where I just saw like the way people were doing things with mostly pearls and scarves because I like pearls and scarves. Those are kind of my things. And then I have one completely just titled, Look at These After No Spend February, which are items that I hear about that are either on sale or just catch my interest but aren't things that I really need to buy right now. I decided to go ahead and keep them somewhere so I wouldn't think about them. Some of them will be unavailable, which is okay, and some of them I will have fallen out of love with, which is even better. Then I also, more based on the book, have some specific pieces that I think I may be interested in in the long term. And no spend February is great timing for me because I tend to think of my wardrobe, I tend to think of building a wardrobe like I'm still a child, but I think of like back to school. I don't think that much about my summer wardrobe. And honestly, once February's over, that kind of gets me past the winter clearance time, which is perfect because I want to stop buying things because they're on clearance. It's okay to buy things that I want when they're on clearance, but let's not buy things because they're on clearance. But so I'm identifying some specific pieces. I would love to have one pair of jeans that I feel great about, feel great in, ethical, they fit great, I look great in them. Maybe this is a fantasy, but I would love to have one pair of jeans that doesn't feel like a compromise. Wish me luck. I'll be looking at those. I probably won't even buy that till fall. I've talked before, I really want a camel blazer. I think I want the one from J. Crew, but it's always available. There's a J. Crew factory store. I think it's like 20 minutes from me. I haven't been there. I will not be going in February. And I also won't be going in March because who buys a wool blazer in March? I could also use a pair of short black boots. I think I wore mine out and just threw them out, and those are something that are kind of perennial that I go back to and back to. So it is probably worth buying a decent pair. I would like to have a pair of black, probably patent, either loafers or mules. But I want to buy things that don't feel like a compromise. I feel like this is exactly what I want. I'm just hoping that keeping it this way help me be mindful of things, and also help me think if I see something cute on sale, but it's not really fitting my longer term goals in terms of how I want to be building my wardrobe, I might be more able to resist it if I can look at it and say, wait, those are my goals. These are my actual goals for my closet. Does this piece get me closer to my goals? So we'll see how that goes, but that's what I'm trying. And one very tiny thing that I did that's, I think, actually helped me not spend money this month is I deleted the Amazon app from my phone. Notice that starting to think about being choosier about my wardrobe is filtering into other aspects of my life too. I'm a podcast addict like crazy. I love podcasts. I do a lot of driving during the day, and I also count a lot of envelopes for my business. So I love them. Over Christmas break and then with being sick, and I had some audiobooks during that time too, I got behind on my podcasts, which is such a silly thing. Like, podcast boss is gonna come get me in trouble. And so, you know, I have in my mind this idea of not wanting to bring more mediocrity into my life. And I do like the name of the book, The Curated Closet. Just to me, it says like, everything in here is something that you've thought about, and you brought it in for a reason. Wouldn't it be great if like everything in your life were that way? I don't know. So as I was catching up on my podcast, I'm driving around, and you can set the podcast, you can set it to play at like, well, you can set it to play at like half speed or 1.5 speed and double speed. And so like 1.5 speed for me, I can still understand it. So I'm like zipping through all my stuff at 1.5 speed, and I'm getting through all the old stuff. And then one of my favorite podcasts, which is called Reply All, I'll link it. I love it. Language warning and adult content warning if you try it. But I love it. It's just, I don't know. It just cracks me up. And so it comes up in my feed, and not only do I not want to wait and get through all my old podcasts to get to it, I don't want to listen to it at 1x. At 1.5 times speed. I want to enjoy every second. And after I realized that, I went through and unsubscribed to a ton of podcasts. I want every podcast I listen to be one where I'm excited that it's time to listen. I'm really going to try to make 2018 the year of quality over quantity in all aspects of my life. I'm kind of excited about it, actually. If you enjoyed this video, click subscribe below. See you soon!